Q6420. An airplane and an airship are converging. If the airship is left of the airplane's position, which aircraft has the right of way? A. The airship. B. The airplane. C. Each should alter course to the right. The correct answer is A. When an airplane and an airship are converging, the right of way is determined based on the relative positions of the two aircraft. In this particular scenario, if the airship is situated to the left of the airplane's position, it means that the airship is on the airplane's left-hand side. According to the rules of right-of-way in aviation, when two aircraft are approaching head-on or converging, the aircraft on the right-hand side generally has the right-of-way. However, there is an exception to this rule when it comes to aircraft of different categories, such as airplanes and airships. Airships, due to their unique characteristics and maneuverability limitations, are typically considered to have the right-of-way over airplanes. This means that if an airship is positioned to the left of an airplane, the airship is given priority in terms of determining the course of action to avoid a potential collision. Therefore, in the given scenario, the airship would have the right-of-way, and it would be the responsibility of the airplane to alter its course accordingly to maintain a safe distance and avoid any potential collision. Q6421. An airship has the right-of-way over which aircraft? A. Glider. B. Gyroplane. C. Aircraft towing another aircraft. The correct answer is B. When it comes to determining right-of-way in aviation, certain aircraft have priority over others to ensure safe and orderly flight operations. In this case, an airship is given the right-of-way over a gyroplane. A gyroplane, also known as an auto-gyro, is a type of aircraft that resembles a small helicopter but operates differently. It uses an unpowered rotor to generate lift, which is then supplemented by a conventional engine for propulsion. Gyroplanes have unique flight characteristics and limitations compared to other aircraft types. According to established aviation rules and regulations, when an airship and a gyroplane are in proximity and potential conflict, the airship is granted the right-of-way. This means that the gyroplane should yield and adjust its course to avoid any potential collision with the airship. The reason for giving the airship the right-of-way over a gyroplane can be attributed to the airship's relatively larger size, lower maneuverability, and more limited options for altering its course. The airship requires more time and distance to adjust its heading or altitude compared to a gyroplane, which typically has greater maneuverability. By assigning right-of-way to the airship, it helps ensure the safety and separation of aircraft in flight. It is the responsibility of the gyroplane pilot to be aware of the presence of an airship and make the necessary adjustments to their flight path to avoid any conflicts or potential hazards. Therefore, in the given scenario, if a gyroplane and an airship are in proximity, the gyroplane must yield and give way to the airship to maintain safe airspace separation. Q6422. When flying beneath the lateral limits of Class B airspace, the maximum indicated airspeed authorized is A. 156 knots, B. 200 knots, C. 250 knots. The correct answer is B. Class B airspace is a controlled airspace designation that typically surrounds busy airports or areas with high air traffic volume. When operating beneath the lateral limits of Class B airspace, there are specific regulations and speed restrictions that pilots need to adhere to for safety and traffic management purposes. According to aviation regulations, when flying below the lateral boundaries of Class B airspace, the maximum indicated airspeed authorized is 200 knots. This means that pilots should not exceed a speed of 200 knots indicated airspeed while operating within this airspace. The speed restriction serves several purposes. First, it helps ensure that aircraft operating near the boundaries of Class B airspace maintain a manageable speed, allowing for better control and maneuverability in the event of changing air traffic conditions. Second, it helps mitigate the potential for conflicts and collisions between aircraft operating in close proximity. It's important for pilots to be aware of and comply with the designated speed restrictions when flying beneath the lateral limits of Class B airspace. Failure to adhere to these speed restrictions can result in safety hazards and possible violations of aviation regulations. It's worth noting that specific speed restrictions may vary depending on the airspace design and local regulations. Pilots should consult the applicable aeronautical charts, NOTAMs, notices to airmen, and air traffic control communications for the most accurate and up-to-date information regarding speed restrictions within Class B airspace. Therefore, in the given scenario, when operating below the lateral boundaries of Class B airspace, pilots are authorized to fly at a maximum indicated airspeed of 200 knots. 6423. Unless otherwise authorized, what is the maximum indicated airspeed at which an aircraft may be flown in a satellite airport traffic pattern located within Class B airspace? A. 200 miles per hour. B. 200 knots. C. 250 knots. The correct answer is C. When it comes to flying in a satellite airport traffic pattern located within Class B airspace, there are certain regulations and speed restrictions that pilots need to be aware of to ensure safe operations and airspace management. In general, unless otherwise authorized, the maximum indicated airspeed at which an aircraft may be flown in a satellite airport traffic pattern within Class B airspace is 250 knots. This speed restriction is in place to maintain safe separation between aircraft and facilitate efficient traffic flow in the vicinity of the satellite airport. The speed limit of 250 knots is typically applicable for aircraft operating within the traffic pattern or in the immediate vicinity of the satellite airport. It helps ensure that pilots have adequate time and maneuverability to safely navigate the traffic pattern, make required turns, and maintain separation from other aircraft. It's important to note that specific speed restrictions may vary depending on local regulations and airspace design. Pilots should always refer to the applicable aeronautical charts, NOTAMs, notices to airmen, and any specific instructions or air traffic control communications to determine the exact speed limitations for the particular satellite airport within Class B airspace. By adhering to the maximum indicated airspeed of 250 knots, pilots can contribute to maintaining a safe and orderly flow of traffic in the satellite airport traffic pattern and mitigate the potential for conflicts or hazardous situations. Therefore, in the given scenario, unless otherwise authorized, the maximum indicated airspeed at which an aircraft may be flown in a satellite airport traffic pattern located within Class B airspace is 250 knots. 6424. Unless otherwise authorized or required by air traffic control, what is the maximum indicated airspeed at which a person may operate an aircraft below 10,000 feet MSL? A. 200 knots. B. 250 miles per hour. C. 250 knots. The correct answer is C. When operating an aircraft below 10,000 feet MSL, mean sea level, there are specific regulations and speed restrictions that pilots need to be aware of to ensure safe and orderly flight operations. Unless otherwise authorized or required by air traffic control, the maximum indicated airspeed allowed for aircraft operating below 10,000 feet MSL is 250 knots. This speed restriction is put in place to promote safety, maintain control of the aircraft, and facilitate appropriate separation between aircraft in the airspace. The 250-knot speed limitation applies to aircraft operating below 10,000 feet MSL in non-congested areas, where air traffic control does not impose specific speed restrictions. It provides a reasonable balance between aircraft performance, maneuverability, and the need to avoid excessive airspeeds that could compromise safety or control. However, it's important to note that there can be variations and exceptions to this speed restriction. In congested areas or specific airspace, air traffic control may impose lower speed limits for traffic management or other operational considerations. Pilots must always comply with any speed restrictions or instructions provided by air traffic control. Furthermore, certain aircraft types, such as specific military aircraft or those engaged in certain operations, may have different speed restrictions imposed by regulations or specific authorizations. Pilots should consult the applicable regulations and authorities for any additional speed limitations that may be applicable to their specific situation. Therefore, unless otherwise authorized or required by air traffic control, the maximum indicated airspeed at which a person may operate an aircraft below 10,000 feet MSL is 250 knots. Pilots should always exercise judgment and adhere to any specific speed restrictions or instructions provided by air traffic control or applicable regulations.